Okay, this is Sam from TikTok. So there's a car for $7,000. I want to sell my car worth 12. Can you explain that? Well, who are you selling your car to? It's if you say it's worth 12, then all right. We only get offers to find out what our car is worth. We don't use algorithm sites because that's worthless. An algorithm site is a site like Kelly's Blue Book. You punch in your year, make, model, and in 3 seconds it tells you your vehicle's worth $12,000. Right now, we have companies that bid against each other. And what you want to do is you want to go on your computer, go to CarMax.com, go to Driveway.com, go to Carvana.com, go to AutoNation.com, go to Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer.com, and go to Car Gurus. All of them will connect you to somebody or some major buyer who pays cash for cars immediately. Literally, quick inspection, drop your check, and you're on to you literally, it's that simple. We are no longer at the mercy of private owners who are going to come by and look at our car and no one buy it and talk us down. There are extremely competitive buyers in the market that I've been telling people about since 2021 when we were cashing out. I was big on telling you guys during 2021 to 2023, during that whole pandemic run, cash out now, because the values of those vehicles will never see them again. So there are some people who cashed out, but that was also the beginning of showing people that you can sell to what is called institutional car buyers. And that is what stopped people from trading their cars. There are people who have learned from me, and maybe other people have mentioned this, that will never trade a car again because you're not getting the money that it's worth. So you go to those 6 companies, Sam, it should take you no more than 20 minutes. They're going to give you their best cash offers. And then you can sell to them and you can go buy something else. But what I want you to get in the habit of doing, everybody, is separating your transactions. What does that mean? Who you sell your car to is different than who you buy a car from. And you need to maximize each transaction. And you're never going to do that mixing all your transactions together, which is what most people do. They go into a dealer and they say, hey, I want to buy a car from you, and I want to trade my car into you, and I need a loan. 3 transactions. We don't do that. We separate them and we bid each one out using online tools. And that's how we get the prices we get. And that's how we pay less than everyone else. Okay. So the biggest thing, first thing is go to those 6 websites: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB, Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation. And all of you who want to find out what your car is really worth, you go to these 6 websites, get your 6 offers, and then you'll find out what your car is really worth. We do not depend on any dealer to tell us what our car is worth at all. Okay? Shoot the next question up, Dolan. And you guys can continue to type your questions. We're bringing them in from all platforms. This is Terrell Taylor. By the way, everything that I'm talking to you guys about is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Some of you may have it. If you have it, shout out to those who have it, and shout out to those who've used it to actually pay less than everyone else. And make sure I want you to be like Tiffany. Send me your deals. Send me your deals. When you get your cars, I want you to actually send me the results. Look, this is, oh no, that's not Tiffany. That's someone else who used the book. Look, used the book, got $175 a month less than her first quotes before she used the book. So send me, but you can get a copy of this book immediately for 75% off. It's normally $97. Go to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast, and you can have the entire blueprint. If you don't want to try to remember everything I'll be teaching you over the next hour, you can have the blueprint. You won't pay the $75. You'll get the 75% off. And we also have a comment pinned in the comment section for you guys on YouTube and on Facebook, and on Instagram. You go to my bio. So anyway, go get it because it's only for 30 minutes. After the timer goes off, it's $97. It's still worth every penny. You can Google it. 5-star book. You can see all the people who rated it, all the people who's using it. This isn't a test. to do, but I want you to get it at 75% off. It's better to pay $24 than $97. Okay, Terrell Taylor. So you said, Terrell Taylor on YouTube said, I have $35,000 to $40,000 to buy a truck with. Should I buy a used or a late model new, 2022 to 24? So whenever we're considering a late model used car, this is a model like Terrell said that is 1 to 2 years old. Let me tell you why I don't like shopping for those first. I like to shop for a new price first. Whenever you are buying 1 or 2 year old used vehicles, you have to realize something. How do dealers get used cars? Trade, or they get them off lease, they buy them. When you have not waited 3 years, you're not going to see a lot of used vehicles in that option because most people don't buy a vehicle and then trade it in 2 years. So you're not going to see a lot of 1 and 2 year old used vehicles. I don't like that because when there's not a lot of a vehicle, the people who have that vehicle get to set very high prices that we have nothing to compare it to. And that's a recipe for losing and overpaying. I've had people come to me who are looking like you, and what I say is, I say, okay, shop for a new one first. I'm gonna tell you why. When you shop for a new one first, you get to see what the market value is. So take Sean. I'm showing Sean. Some of you have seen Sean. He got an F-150 Lightning XLT, $73,000 vehicle. Using what we teach and getting bids from home, using the Cars from Home system, he saved $21,000 on a new one. That was his best offer. He got multiple offers because we always get at least 5. So his best offer, he saves $21,000. If he had gone to look for a 1 or 2 year old one of this, he would have never known that the new ones he can save $20,000 off of if he shops right. Now, some vehicles, it might be $7,000 off, $10,000 off, $5,000 off. The point is, until you know what the new market is for a vehicle, you can't shop a 1 or 2 year old one. Because what happens if you shop a 1 year old version of what Sean got and he goes and he pays, he pays 65 for it because he thinks, or let's say 60. Let's say 60. A brand new one, 73. Someone else is charging 60. All right, it's 2 years old. Let me get that one. Not 15 grand off. Problem is, he just overpaid for a vehicle because he could have got a new one for less than he got that 1 or 2 year old one. That's why the recent shoppers, anytime you guys are shopping 1 or 2 year old, you have to shop new first to find out what the market is. Now, in my book, I have my strategies for shopping new online and shopping pre-owned. It's totally different. Pre-owned, you want to go to all the marketplaces. If a vehicle's not on a marketplace, y'all, don't shop. Don't look at it. What does that mean? You ever walk into a used car dealer and you see a used car, but there's no price on it? Type a $ if you've ever experienced this. If you've ever looked at a deal, you've been in a dealership, you see they have a used car, there's no price on it. Type a $ if you've experienced that. Okay, I see you, Terrell. Okay, perfect. I see you, Don Dickey. Okay, perfect. All right, we have enough people. All right, Makeover Forever Studios. I see you. Okay, Todd May, I see you. So this is a common thing. When you go and look at that vehicle, the most dangerous thing to do, I see you, Tony, is to negotiate on a car with no price because they can make the price up. When a car is on a marketplace like cars.com, carfax.com, carguru.com, carvana.com, carmax.com, these are all the marketplaces we shop for used cars at once. It's like a big round robin for us. This is how I want you to shop. Now you must be competitive or no one's coming. Now there's some people who try to pull a tactic. They'll list a car for 20. They have no intentions on selling it for 20. But they want you to come in and then they'll charge you more, fees, makeup fees and all of that stuff. That's why we always call beforehand. But we know the power is online. The competition is online. So when you're looking, Terrell, you're either deciding, all right, I'm either going to look for a new vehicle, find out what the market price is for the vehicle I'm looking for and how much I can save. What's my best offer? You need to get at least 5 offers. I'm telling you, it's going to be big differences. You have to prove this to yourself. Call around. If you want to do it manually, you don't have my book, do it manually, call around, speak to sales managers. You are going to see it's going to be a $5,000 to $10,000 difference minimum between all of these dealers' offers, minimum. And so then you want to look at the pre-owned options. Then you look at the pre-owned options. And the pre-owned options will tell you what the market is. And so this is only for you who are looking at recent model cars. If you're not looking at 1 or 2 year old pre-owned, this doesn't matter. But those people have a little bit more budget, and that's okay. That's okay. But when you have a little bit more budget where you can look at a 1 or 2 year old pre-owned car, that means you have a little bit more money to lose if you make a bad decision. So that's what you want to consider, Terrell. Shop for the new ones first, depending on what your budget is, and then look at the pre-owned market and say, all right, where's the pre-owned market? But that 1 or 2 year old, you're not going to have a lot. Until that 3 year cycle comes and dealers can start buying those vehicles back off lease, you're not going to see a lot of vehicles. That's why I don't play in that 1 or 2 year old zone. It's just a dangerous zone to play in. Dealers know, we're the only ones. Hey, we the only one that got this car within 50 miles. Let's charge this for it. And then they depend on someone who doesn't know the market to come in, pay for it, and you can literally overpay by 10, 20 grand and you won't realize it until, a couple years later. Okay, great question though. Great question, Terrell. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Type your questions, y'all. We're going to get through as many as we possibly can in an hour. I see a lot of questions coming in. Let me try to speed it up. All right, this is Abigail from Instagram. How do I shop for cars and take test drives without feeling like I'm wasting their time? I'm nervous. Okay, first thing to realize, Abigail, you're a very considerate person. God bless you for that. You're about to spend 5 figures on a vehicle. Some of you 6 figures. I love the courtesy, but we are the prize. When you're shopping the way I want you to shop, some of you, this is your first time here. You don't even know, hey, who is this guy talking? I spent 14 years in the car business. 5 years with Mercedes, 5 years General Motors. I've been helping people buy cars and get below market deals since 2019, education-wise. I love it, but you deserve the experience. If you were walking into the mall to spend 15 grand, let's just call it 15 grand. How would you want to be treated? Like royalty, right? Right? So, but I'm going to answer your question, but I need your mindset. A lot of what we're discussing is going to be the right mindset. You are the prize. That's why I don't want you going to dealers begging for discounts anymore. I want you sitting at home making dealers bid. This is how we do test drives on new cars and leases. New cars and leases. This is how we do test drives. I have it in my book because it's that serious. You're either going to have a great test drive or you're going to have a horrible test drive experience. We call and we ask the dealer, who's the most experienced person there? Who does everybody like? Who's the person that, has been there for a long time, just has a great reputation? Oh, that's John. John is just, he's been here 20 years. Everybody loves him. Okay, can I speak to John? Hey, John, my name's Deshone. I'm interested in the Honda Pilot. I just like to test drive it. I'm in the process of deciding what I want. And, do you have this particular model? You have one there that I could test drive? John, because we asked for the best person, we're typically going to get somebody who is not going to lie, usually. Not a guarantee, but taking these steps, I know these guys. I've been in this dealership. I know most dealerships have one person there who has a good reputation and who cares about that reputation. If you're enjoying this content, hit the like button, y'all. And Keith, y'all killing the likes on TikTok. Shout out to everybody who's hitting the likes on TikTok, to double tapping the screen. Appreciate y'all. And shout out to everybody who hits the like button. When we get there, we meet with John. We test drive. John, thank you so much. Can I have your card? I'll leave you my information. And if this is the vehicle I want, I'll be in touch with you. Perfect. Oh, Deshone, we don't sit down? We don't think, no, we never sit down. I'm telling you that there are things you must unlearn about the shopping process if you're going to win. And what does winning look like? Getting the most money off in the least amount of time. There's no leverage that you have when you sit down and try to negotiate with a car salesman. Every single dealer around you that wants to compete for your business, you can't talk to them while you're sitting in one dealer talking to a car salesman. That's why we don't do it. We get a card. Thank you so much. Listen, if this is the one for me, I'm going to give you a call. Simple. Pressure's off. There's no pressure in our system. You can't pressure us. That's what I want you doing. New cars, leases, that's how you test drive. 20 minutes, you're in and out. And I'm a car salesman at heart because that's what I am by profession. I would never develop a system that would allow you to waste car salesmen's time. I just wouldn't do it. I developed a system that when our people go get cars, look at Ansley. When our people go get cars, Ansley just got his lease, 1% lease, $58,000 Infiniti. Look, started the process Saturday, accept the deal Monday, all by email. $58,000 car, he's paying $554 a month, no down payment. We have tons of these. None of these people spent, look at Jared, lease like a boss, $569 a month down to $520, Volkswagen Tiguan, no money out of pocket. Let's go to a purchase. Pierre, pre-owned car purchase, got his 2022 Mazda, got a 20% discount off the original MSRP. This is 30 minutes. We are not spending more than 30 minutes in dealerships. Who doesn't want to spend more time in dealerships? Type me if you're like Deshone. I don't want to be in dealerships that long. You thought you had to be in dealers to save the big money, right? You thought you had to be in dealers to save the big money. I'm showing you as someone who pays less than everyone and who teaches people to pay less than everyone. Look, Kimberly, $20,000 off a Maserati, shopping from home. Because when you can talk to more people at once, the discounts fly off. And you see that all these dealers want to compete. So what you want to do, the best thing you can do to not waste people's time, Abigail, is to shop from home the right way. Because when you shop from home the right way, you realize it's only a few things you need to be in the dealership for. That's your test drive. I just told you how to set it up. With used cars, we do it at the end. But we're only there for a second. In fact, when you go to pick up your car, they're going to tell you, thank you. This was one of the most easiest deals I ever made in my life. Because you came in, you emailed us, you knew what you wanted, you gave us the information we needed, we made you an offer, you knew what you were decisive. We have all these scripts. By the way, in my book, I have all the email scripts. You don't have to even think about what you're going to say. It's literally copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste when we're shopping for new cars and leases. With used cars, before I go to the next question, I want to hit on the used car process. Used cars, we must test drive at the end. We can't test drive used cars over here and then go and buy another used car over here. So what we do when we narrow our choices down on all these marketplaces to our top 5 favorite vehicles, we need to verify that there's no bogus fees. When I was shopping for my Infiniti truck, I narrowed it down to 4 vehicles. But I'm going to tell you something that's the most, who's bought a used car in their life? Type the letter U. I need you guys to program what I'm about to say into your brain cells for the rest of your life. Type the letter U if you bought a used car or if you plan on buying a used car one day. Type the letter U. All right, I see you, Michael. Don Dickey, okay. Terrell, I see you. Glizzy, Tony, okay. Lori, I see you. Victoria. Anybody who plans on this, let me tell you how. Okay, let me tell you how. All right. See, when I'm about to reveal big stuff, I got to kind of see how I want to say it. The marketplaces that we go to look at used cars on, They're never going to tell us what a great price is. And I'm going to tell you why. The only thing that matters, let's say we're looking at 4 white Honda Accords. 4, they're all white. These are the cars we want. We've narrowed it down. We're looking at 4. They all got similar miles, and they're asking price is $20,000. The marketplace is going to tell you what they think a good deal is based on algorithms. Based on all the vehicles listed on the market, this is a good deal. This is a bad deal. Here's what matters. How much was the original price of each vehicle? Why is this the only important thing? Because if we're looking at 4 white Honda Accords, but one of them was $35,000 when it was new, one of them was $39,000 when it was new, has a sport package, some special technology. One was $31,000 when it was new. One was $29,000 when it was new. What's the best value? What's the best value? You see how we clearly just went from, wow, all of these vehicles look the same, similar price, similar asking price. But once we found out, wait a minute, this one right here was $38,000 new. This one here has the cameras in it all around and the self-driving package, and it has the same asking price, or it's maybe $1,000 more. This is what I call the true value discount. The true value discount. And let me tell you why the marketplaces will never tell you this. Because if they advertise the true value discount, someone has to be at the bottom. In other words, when you're looking at Honda Accords, if you could go right to the true value, who's giving me the biggest discount off the original MSRP? That means the car at the bottom, they might be giving you no discount off the MSRP. We saw that during the pandemic. It was people selling, who remembers people selling Toyota Camrys, 3-year-old Toyota Camrys, for the same price as they were when they were new? There was some deal, everyone wasn't. I know a couple dealers, I know a couple general managers who run dealerships who are ethical. And they said, look, I don't care what the market does. I can't sell a used vehicle for the same price it was when it was new. I'm not doing that. Because when that customer comes back in 3 years to deal with me, I'm going to have to help them again. And if I buried them in their car, then I'm not going to be able to help them. But there were plenty of people who was. The true value discount is all that matters, which means we have to know what the car was new. We have to find the Maroni label. We have to go on the Carfax. We have to go to where the window sticker is and get the original price. And then we'll clearly see, oh, that's the best used car. And no one else shops like that. No one else shops like that. If y'all get that, type dollar signs. If you get that, what I just said, type dollar signs. That is what is important, not what they tell you is a good deal. So going back to me, when I got my Infiniti truck, 4 vehicles, all in a similar price range, all white. They were between $1,800 difference from each other, similar miles. But once I found out that one was 46,000 new, one was 48,000 new, one was 52,000, and the one I ended up getting was 54,000. That separated it. The one that was 54,000 new, they were giving me a 42% discount asking price. These are things that help you cut through the mess, the smoke and mirrors of the car business. In order for you to win and pay less than everyone else, you have to cut through the smoke and mirrors. That's what I'm great at showing you because I was in the business. So these are the things that, again, if you say, Deshone, I need the whole blueprint. I need to give me the step-by-step. I'm leasing, used cars, high mileage, new cars. Give it to me step-by-step. That is my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It'll be in your inbox in literally 5 minutes, and you get yours for 75% off. Support yourself and support your family by getting your copy. Go to my YouTube comments. We have a link right there pinned for you guys. We have a link in the Facebook comments. Get your book for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. You'll see a timer on the page. Now, if you're on TikTok, click that picture of me and go to that link in my TikTok bio and click the one that says 75% off to activate the 75% off link. Get your book so that you never have to wonder about this. Now, we're going to continue, but I just know as we answer more questions, some of you are going to forget that. What we just went over in the last 10 minutes, this next question, you're going to forget all of that. All right? Now, Dennis Gamister from Instagram, on a lease agreement, does the deal use the MSRP or the discounted price? So when we're shopping for leases, this is what we do. We get all our offers this is how we construct our offers. If you've ever looked on these commercials and you saw, well, Deshone, when I look at leases, though, it seems like, one, they limit me on miles. And then I also see that they want a bunch of money up front. You are correct. But they only limit you on miles according to the miles you told them you were going to drive. They don't pick the miles for you. We select the miles. And what ends up happening is people will, because they typically don't know how to shop, they're negotiating. They'll say, all right, well, my payment's $400. That's my budget. I drive more than 10,000 miles a year, but I guess I'll just take the 10. Instead of paying $20 more to get 12, they'll take the 10, and then they'll say something like, if I go over, I'll just buy it. Horrible idea. Absolutely catastrophic idea. Or if I go over, they blame the lease. They literally will get the penalty, get the bill for the 6,000 extra miles that they used, and they're charging them 25 cents a mile now, and say, man, this is why I don't want to lease, because they limit me on my miles. No, they didn't. To save $20 a month, you picked the lower miles. You can customize leases up to 15,000 miles if you want, 18,000 miles. Look at Jen. Jen just got her lease on her Honda. Hold on, where's Jen's lease? She got an 18,000 mile a year lease. Now, the way we shop is 12,000 miles per year, only first month's payment due at signing, and we shop it taxes and fees in the payment. Jen, her best offer on her Honda CR-V hybrid, which is one of the most popular hybrid crossovers in the market, she got $512 a month, 12,000 miles. That's a 1.3 lease. We'll talk about the 1% rule for great lease deals and the 1.5% for overpaying. She gets 1.3. She bumps it up to 18,000 miles per year. But look how much more, y'all. $50. So for $50 more a month, she, instead of driving 12,000 miles, she gets to drive 18,000 miles. And she gets to drive as much as she needs to for $50. Versus her saying, you know, I'm going to take the 12 knowing I don't drive 12, and then I'm going to get penalties and, again, blame the lease. The lease is custom. And the first time I learned about high mileage leases was when I was working at Hyundai. I was a manager at Hyundai for a short period of time. It was a highway dealer. The guy ended up going to jail. It was typical, like, you know, I've worked in some dealers, some phenomenal dealers, but this one was like, if you ever could imagine the prototypical highway scam dealership, I mean, this was it. So I was only there for 6 weeks, but I was a manager, and what I saw was I was taking care of this guy's lease who was just finished with it. He had 72,000 miles on it, and I went out there and I said, wait, you leased this? 72,000 miles? He said, yeah, I always lease now. He said, I used to come in every time I bought a car, my negative equity was ridiculous, $15,000, $10,000. I had to keep writing these big checks. And I just said, you know, let me switch to leasing. A customer taught me about high mileage leasing. That's why when I say car salesmen aren't trained, they're not trained. We learn things by intuitiveness and curiosity, and you know, we're not trained on finance and insurance and leases versus buying, none of that. You know, so anyway, I said, wow. And so I looked at his payment. This guy is only paying like $175 more a month, not even, to drive 25,000 miles a year. So if a normal Hyundai lease was $299, he's paying $450, $475, and he's driving 25,000 miles a year. Boom, drops it off. Boom. No negative equity, none of the trash that most high mileage drivers are dealing with. So when we are shopping for a lease, we have to shop with our template. Whenever you're getting your lease quotes, it's 12,000 miles a year, first month's payment only due at signing, taxes and fees in the payment. Assume tier 1. That's what we blast out. In my book, I have something called the 25 to 5 strategy. We connect with 25 dealers online. You use my email scripts, copy and paste. We're going to get 5 offers. This will take you. You saw Ansley. He said, I started it Saturday. By Monday, I accepted a deal. This doesn't matter. This is a 24, 48-hour turnaround to start getting offers on these vehicles. Now, once we're looking at offers, we take the MSRP. We take the monthly payment. We divide it into the MSRP. So let's just say we're shopping for a vehicle. It's $40,000. One of our offers is $400 a month. $400 a month. No money due at signing. Just $400. We drive off. We divide that into the MSRP, not the selling price. The MSRP. So now we divide that into 40,000. We can see and we multiply by 100. That's a 1% lease. The 1% lease rule has been around for the last 20, 30 years. If you could lease a vehicle and the offers is under 1% of the MSRP, it's a steal. Great value. Because a $40,000 vehicle with no money down to buy would cost probably $800 a month on a 5-year loan. So it's incredible value. It's a steal. You don't have to worry, am I overpaying? Nowhere near. You're still in the vehicle. And we have some people who shop from home using the car. If you're Deshone, do those deals really exist? If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can see right now. Look, Greg got a 1% lease on his Kia EV6 Win, $527 a month, $56,000 vehicle. Look, Zafrina, $579 a month, $65,000 vehicle. Ansley, you saw Ansley's Infinity. Rosalie's Infinity truck. Right here. Look, it's paying $592 a month, $59,000 vehicle. 1% lease deals are out here when you know how to shop. Now, that's a steal. That doesn't mean that's the best. That doesn't mean, if I can't get a 1% deal. In order to get a 1% deal, you have to not just shop. You need major support from the manufacturer. The lease program has to be good. The rebates have to be good. The residual value have to be good. The money factor, which is the interest rate, have to be good. There's a lease program that no dealer can control. So when we get these offers, that's how we're judging them. Divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. In my book, I have a calculator that I created where we put all our offers into it, and then it spits out what we call counter offers. So we get 5 offers, 7 offers. We put them all into this calculator I created. Again, this is the best $24. If you get there for $24 before that 30-minute timer and you get your copy, it'll be the best $24 you ever spent. I hold myself accountable to that. You can Google the book and read the reviews. There's software that we created that that's how you're judging your leases. You're looking and you're comparing to the 1% rule. Now, when you get to 1.5%, we can't make those deals. We're paying too much for a vehicle that we're giving back. We have to see, there was no indicator before I created the 1.5% rule. As much as I love educating people on leases, the only people who should be leasing is if you're not keeping your cars 8 years. All of you long-term people who you keep your cars more than 8 years, don't think about leasing at all. You should be shopping for below market purchases. But if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing thousands of dollars not leasing cars. Depreciation is where you lose. Resale value is where you lose. So the 1% rule is what our anchor is, but 1.2 is great value. 1.3, great value. 1.4, good value. 1.5, good value. Anything over 1.5, now we're paying too much for a vehicle that we're giving back. So that's how we're judging. That's how we're judging and comparing our lease offers. And with the calculators that are in my book, you can literally do this in seconds. This stuff, these mathematical things that used to be complex, even hard for me to explain, when you're using the stuff in my book and you're seeing, wait, There's calculators I can do this. Boom, boom. Why don't these calculators exist on Google? Because anything that makes dealers compete, they're not going to make for you. They'll make stuff for you that allows you to see more and do this and make it easier and faster and connect to get a loan quick. But competition, any tools that create competition, they're not going to make those for you, because that's where the real money comes off when you make dealers compete. Okay, so you want your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Click the picture of me on Instagram or TikTok. It's going to take you to my bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Click that link and then click the button that activates the 75% off, and you'll have 30 minutes. Once the timer goes to 0, the $97 price is what you have to pay if you want it. It's up to you, but $24 is much better than $97. $97 is still a great price. I have no doubt that you guys would write me, especially the more you use this. 1, 2 cars, 3 cars. You get 1 lease this year, a used car next year, a new car in about 4 years. And Deshone, what about when websites change? What about, this is an online system. Websites go out of business. Vroom went out of business. They were in my book. We used to get bids from them to sell cars to them. When we were shopping for used cars, they were in my multiple marketplace strategy. They went out of business. I went right into the master file, updated the 9,000 people that had a book. It was probably like 2,000, 3,000 at that particular time. And the next time people opened the book file, there was no room. That's why the book is digital. That's one of the reasons. You'll see the other reasons is I have scripts that I link you to. I have PDFs I link you to. Videos I link you to. I couldn't do this with a real physical book. So again, in the YouTube comments, in the Facebook comments, we have a link for you guys to get your book at 75% off for 30 minutes and use it. All right, Dolan, shoot the next one then, brother. Let's go. How old of a used car should a person buy? That's based on budget. I like to start with, when we open those marketplaces, Tony, you want to start with the most recent cars. The first thing you're doing when you open up the marketplaces, y'all, first of all, we're creating accounts. Out of all those marketplaces I named, 6 or 7 of them, we use 8. We use eBay Motors, we use Carfax.com, we use Cars.com, Autotrader.com, CarGurus.com, Carvana, CarMax, Driveway, and that's 8. 7 of those, or 6, allow us to create an account. Why is it important to create an account? So that every single new car that matches our criteria, as soon as it's listed, we get a notification. The people who have that notification on, most of them don't know how to assess the market like I'm showing you. So even if they get a notification that the car was just posted, they're not going to have the information to take advantage of it. They're going to hesitate. What we do is, the first thing we do after we create our account is we're now assessing the market. Where's the low prices? Where's the high prices? And I'll usually go 3 years back, sometimes 4 years back, and let's assess the market. Now, I have another calculator in the, matter of fact, let me show this to you guys. I have another calculator. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. The Perfect Budget Calculator. What this does, you guys can't see this on YouTube, but you can see it on you can't see this on TikTok. But if you go over to YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you'll be able to see what I'm sharing right now. Now, what often happens is, let me share this. Hang on. Boom. Okay. So now what often happens is, a lot of you will say, I could put down $2,000, but, if I don't have to, then I won't. Or, if you get a car and you pay $15,000, if you pay $500 a month for 5 years, that's a lower price you paid than paying $500 a month for 6 years. So ways to manipulate our budget is to shop within our budget for a shorter loan. This is all stuff where I said, okay, people don't know they need to be doing this. So let's make a tool that does it for them. And this is, you get access to this when you get your copy of Cars from Home, my book. So let's say we do something called an equity assessment. Everybody who has a car, remember I was mentioning a little while ago, we go to these websites, Driveway, Room, or all these, and we find out what our car is worth. Let's say you're like, man, okay, if I sell my car to CarMax, I'm actually going to have $3,200 of equity. All right, so when I sell, I'm going to put that into my budget. All right, now max, my down payment, max I could comfortably do is $1,500. That's max. Now, we use the average interest rate, and in my book, I give you a link to see what the average interest rate is at the particular time you're going to be shopping. Let's just say it's 6.9. Now, we enter a comfortable monthly payment. Let's say you're like, all right, I don't want to go any more than $425 a month for 6 years. That's my max. You enter your state so we can pull the taxes and we can pull the fees. New Jersey, calculate budget goals. Now it's going to ask you a comfortable monthly payment on a 5-year loan. You might say, all right, same thing. I still don't want to go over $425 no matter what. Perfect. What this does is create multiple goals. And it creates multiple goals. It creates a starting point. Now, if you find a car at this price, $18,776 or less, you can do a 5-year loan, use none of your equity, so this will go in your bank, and use none of your down payment. Now, next goal may be, okay, $22,000 or less. 6-year loan, no equity, no down payment. So the first two goals are no money down goals. If I find a car anywhere in these price ranges, I can do these deals, no money down. Now, this is one where I use my equity, but no down payment. Goal number 4, I use my equity for a 6-year loan, no down payment. Now, goal number 5. Now you can see the price of the car is getting higher. Use equity, use my use equity and down payment, but it's 5-year loan. And then here is your max budget. Your max budget, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with if you find a vehicle that, once you use this and you find the best price vehicle, as long as you are under this number, you are fine. The problem is when you go over that number. The problem is when you go over budget. All of these goals are your budget. So when I got my Infiniti truck, I got my goal out. It was my fourth goal. Now, this is how you make sure when you go out to shop, and look at the top. What does it say? You select your state determines the sales tax, will factor it in, give you precise figures. Now, you'll notice, what about the fees, Deshone? Don't all these cars charge fees? We've already factored in the taxes, and we've added $1,000 for fees. What is $1,000? The documentation fee and the motor vehicle fees. It's all in there. So you can go out and know that's my max budget. I cannot buy a vehicle, make a deal on a vehicle where my purchase price is more than $26,729. That's the perfect budget calculator. So there are certain things that I had to create. No one does them. Everything that I was referring you guys to, all the websites, I was doing this, and there was some things where I couldn't refer you to anything because it doesn't exist. We had to build it. So this is how we make sure we are shopping, whether it be for new cars, used cars, below our budget. And that's not how you make, but here's the thing. I need you, before we go to the next question, I need you to understand something. That doesn't make sure you pay below market price. You have to combine this with getting bids, because you can be within your budget and pay over market value. There's 3 types of prices you can pay for a car, whether it's a new car, used car, or lease. Did you pay market value? That's what everyone's paying. Average. Did you pay over market value? Our only deals we make are below market value. And the way that happens is through bidding and creating a marketplace around you where all these people are competing for your business. That is how you combine that with the budget. This will keep you below your budget, but it does not guarantee. If I gave this to you, all of you would be like, this is great. I'm never going to go over my budget again. But it does not, until you combine that with getting bids for whatever you're looking for, you still run the risk of overpaying, even if you're under budget. Okay? Clear? Type $signs if y'all clear before we move to the next question. And there's no way for us to do this manually. If there was a way that you could do this manually, trust me, I would have told y'all to saw me make a video about it all day on my social media. There was just no way. We had to build software. And you know, in my book, you guys will have access to at least 5 calculators for counter offers for new cars, true value discounts when you put the new price you put the original new price of the used car deal, whatever used car you're buying, you put the new car price in, and then you put in the asking price, and it tells you the true value discount, perfect budget calculator. We have at least 5 softwares that I've custom built, and you know, to make sure you guys get great value. So again, you know, I didn't want to be the person who said, you know, you guys know, there's plenty of people who be like, man, the value I'm giving you guys, I'm gonna charge $2.99 for the book, whatever. The people who pay, they'll save the money. And the people who pay, there'll be some people, because some people are gonna pay, they just see value. Poor people look at cost. Wealthy people look at value. People who are into financial literacy they don't ask themselves, how much does that cost? They ask themselves, what's the value I'm getting from that? And I could have said, well, you know what? I'm going to help you pay less than everyone on new cars, used cars, leases. We'll do $200, $300 for the book. And I only want to sell it to 1% or 5% of the pie. But at the end of the day, my mission is to help as many people want to be helped. And so that's why I said, okay, $97. But even our welcome offer, you got a chance to get it for $24 if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. Okay? YouTube link, get your copy. And make sure you save the support email, guys. You see it scrolling across the screen. If, for instance, you don't get your book in 5-10 minutes, it's usually because you typed your email wrong. Reach out to my support team. They'll get you the book immediately. And soon as you pay, go to TikTok. Look, y'all see the links. Go to my bio on YouTube and Instagram. Get your copy. And as soon as you pay your $24, there's going to be a page that says screenshot this page. Right on that page, you can access your book. I want you to have the book immediately, but I also, in case you know, some of you type wrong, big thing, you know, we fat finger stuff. I want you to have the support email so that you can reach out to my team so we can make sure that book is in your inbox so you can use it and start saving money and building confidence. Okay, Dolan, next question, man. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, there's something about Mary on Instagram. I bought a car as is, and in less than a month, motor lock, can I sue for selling me a lemon? I'm not a lemon law attorney, but that is not what a lemon law case is based off of, in my understanding. Lemon law case is based on you buying a vehicle and the same thing continuing to go wrong at least 3 times. You know, that's a general overview of, you know, what the lemon law process is. And if y'all are enjoying the broadcast on TikTok, can y'all just double tap the screen and keep running those likes up? Every time y'all do that, y'all help TikTok bring more people here, and I appreciate it. If you're going to spend some time with us and, you know, every time just you hear something you like and you're like, man, we got to share this. Oh, and shout out to Madhu for sharing. Here's the thing. I made a video about this the other day because a friend of mine got a used vehicle and the transmission went out on him in about a month. So it wasn't the engine. But when you buy a vehicle as is, it's very tough for you to have any recourse, anything that you can do, because you're signing a contract that specifically says as is. It's very tough. What I would do if I was you, because the damage is done. I just found out what it would cost me to put a used engine in the vehicle, rebuilt in a used engine. You know, salvage yard. You need to, and especially if you're buying cars that you're paying cash and you're buying as is cars. These are probably cars that are under 10 grand, 12 grand. You need a mechanic. See, because that's a strategy. There is a great strategy called buying inexpensive cars and having a local mechanic so you could do what's right. Oftentimes you could drive those cars for a year or two and sometimes sell them for what you got for them because you've outlived the depreciation. Those cars are not depreciating as much unless you overpay for them. If you overpay for it, then it's going to drop because you overpaid for it. But if you pay a great price on some of these vehicles, you can oftentimes win with this, but it requires skills. One of the skills is, how do I avoid engine issues, transmission issues? So a couple things for those of you who may be going this route. You need to narrow your search down thoroughly based on title history, service records, accident history. That oftentimes you'll see, if I typed in right now 2018 Subaru Outback longevity. That's one of the things we do. It's in the 4th step of my book. Before we get prices on anything, we do a quick 5-minute search to make sure these aren't bad cars. There are bad cars out there, but there's data that shows us. If I type that in, it'll tell, okay, these vehicles are known for lasting 100,000 to 300,000 miles, depending on how they're maintained. That means you could have a quality vehicle, but if it wasn't maintained correctly by the first owner or owners, it's going to break down. The life cycle is cut short. These are preventable mistakes by simply checking Google. Now, we narrow these things down based on title history, service records, accident history. Once we do that, I don't mind buying a 10-year-old. I bought a car that was it's my around the city car. I drive it probably 200 miles a month. I bought it from a owner in South Orange. He was a 98-year-old man. He's had it for all right. Well, for the first part of the loan, we're gonna do one interest rate, and then we'll look and say midway through, what's the market rate? And if the market rate's lower, great, you win. If the market rate's higher, then you lose. So here's the thing. When we're getting loans, I'm getting ready to explain something to you guys called the bank bidding war. There's so much money in loans, it's ridiculous. That's why there's people who want to loan you money to buy cars. They don't even sell cars. And could y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok and running those likes up? Can we get to 1,000 likes real quick? Every time y'all tap the screen, y'all run the likes up, and y'all actually help TikTok bring more people over here that need to be here. So I appreciate everybody. And thank you to everyone who hits the like button. I appreciate you. It does matter. Now, the credit bureaus in the United States allow you to do something called rate shopping. Rate shopping is when you actually let multiple lenders run your credit within a small period of time, and they can access it with a hard pull, and it won't drop your credit score. More than one hard pull. So let's just say one bank, Bank of America, accesses our credit to give us an offer for a loan. It may drop our credit 9 points because of the hard pull. If we shop within the rate window, we can have 50 banks at credit unions run our credit, and it's going to affect it the same 9 points. That's called the rate window. I haven't heard anyone talk about this. I've been talking about this for literally over 2 years. I think I have a couple big videos that you guys have shared, watched, that talk about how to do this. When you are getting your offers from banks, you want to get them after you've already found your best deal on your car. Because once you get your best deal on your car, you have everything you need now to go to the bank or go online, call the bank and get an offer. Who's had a bank tell them when they call for some type of offer, the bank tells you, well, we need you to have a car first. Who's had that happen? You call and you're coming and you're shopping for you're trying to get a pre-approval or something like that, and the bank tells you, well, we need what car are you buying? We need the car details. Well, that doesn't really make sense, right? I'm trying to get the offer so I could go get the car. But in the case of how we do it, we find our best deal on a car, then we come home and we let multiple banks and credit unions fight it out. Fight it out. Because I guarantee if this Flex Buy program doesn't allow you to shop for your rate and compare whatever rate they're going to offer to whatever rate you're going to get, you're going to lose with that program. And all they want you to do is see that, hey, well, we're going to give you flexible payments. They're trying to hook in people who just like, hey, that sounds good. Not realizing, well, if you just got a rate that was just got an interest rate that was 2 points lower, your payment would be $40 less a month. So interest rate shopping, guys, is extremely important. That's why when you get my book, I give you what's called the Bank Bidding War Blueprint. This is for you guys that are financing. I haven't added that to my book yet because I haven't had a chance to go in and restructure it. Every time I update the book, every time I come up with a new idea or a new website comes up, I update the book. I don't charge you for that. So websites go out of business. Room went out of business earlier this year. Websites go out of business. I'm not going to charge you for each time something changes because we use an online program. But what I did was when you get your book, you get the book, Cars from Home, and then you get the Bank Bidding War Blueprint. All this is the strategies we use to make banks and credit unions bid. I need you guys making people bid for your own sake, for your confidence, for your empowerment, for your experience. You're going to feel like I'm the prize. I'm spending $50,000 here. Why the heck am I begging people to sell me a car? Who's ever felt like they're begging people? Come on, can you take off another $1,000? Come on, can you drop it by $50 a month? Come on. You're begging people. Meanwhile, this is a 5-figure transaction. So when you flip the tables like we've been doing, like all of the people, if you're on Instagram or if you're on YouTube, you can see all of these people. You can see Zafrina. You can see Jared. Look at all these deals. People posting their numbers. Teddy, Rosalie. How does Rosalie get a 65? How much is this vehicle? How much? How does Rosalie get a $60,000 vehicle at $592 a month with no money down? How does she lease that vehicle at $592 when the same daggone Infinity advertisements we see say, hey, come put $5,000 down plus tax and you can pay that price? She did it with no money down. How? Bids. Okay? Bids. All right. Scott, if the program doesn't make people bid, it's no good. I don't care if it's Flex Buy, X Buy, friends and family. If it's not making people bid, it's trash. It's for them, not us. Okay? I think I beat that horse down. So we can go to the next question now. Go ahead, Dolan. Remember, everybody, you have 30 minutes to get your copy for 75% off. Make sure you save my support email just in case you type your email wrong. Sometimes the book doesn't end up in your inbox. Just hit support, send them an email. My team works 7 days a week. Hey, didn't get my book. They'll get you a copy. We want the book in your inbox. We want you using it immediately. All right. This is Lorraine Celine. Thank you. I followed you in your advice on shopping for a used car, and I bought a 2007 Honda Accord at a great price. Thank you for your knowledge and advice. Amen. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Honda's a great vehicle. If you took the steps and made sure you were getting a good one, title, service records, accident history, a great Honda Accord is incredible. Even some of these vehicles, guys, long-term owners, some of you long-term owners, you need to understand which vehicles have the best longevity records. And Honda Accord is one of them. Congratulations, Lorraine. Enjoy it. God bless you. Go ahead, Dolan. Next one. Buying a Porsche Cayenne Coupe. Need help. Okay, well, you sound almost like Scott We started with the process. How many years are you keeping the car? If I could find my, oh man, I don't have time to find it right now. I know why. There's a young lady who came. I want to tell you something how important deal structure is. Who was taught never to lease a car? I want you to be honest. Type me if you were taught never to lease a car. If everyone who's willing to be honest, again, it may sound like some of the things that I'm talking about is bad news first. That's because it is. I have to give you the bad news first, and then we get to the good news. All right. So now I see some misconceptions coming out already. I see Wanda. Okay. I see Black F22. He said you never own it. I want you to understand something about what you just said. If you're a person who keeps that car 8+ years, then you can own it. I'm gonna tell you why. Cars depreciate like this. Cars drop in value like this. This is the scale. That's why you buy a car today for $40,000. 5 years later, it's worth $18,000 or $15,000. You're losing value. People care about this. You know who cares about this more than anyone? You guys, you know who cares about this more than anyone? Banks. Banks. Banks don't want to own things that do this. Now look, Black is coming with a lot of stuff right now. Let's talk to Black. And let's talk to the people like Black, because Black is somebody who will tell you never lease a car. He just said you're basically renting it. You never own it. Now let's get to the point. I want to show everyone on here. Thank you, Black. I'm glad you're here because we're getting ready to use this as an opportunity to prove a point. Let's look at Ansley's deal he just got leasing. And we'll talk about mileage. You can build lease mileage up to 30,000 miles per year. So it doesn't matter. First thing people think, well, leasing, they limit you. No, you pick your mileage on a lease. You choose the mileage. I've had people who lease 30,000 miles a year, 25,000 miles a year, 18,000 miles a year. You pick the mileage. Now, whether you drive or whether you lease or buy, this is what your vehicle is doing. You're losing money day by day. So when you go and you buy a vehicle, you're losing money day by day. The reason I created the 8-year rule is for you to understand that at some point, you stop losing value day by day. You lose less value. This is what we call beating depreciation. It comes with long-term ownership. But let's look at Ansley's deal so that we can put this leasing versus buying to bed and show you how many of you have overpaid by thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you can't get back listening to people who tell you leasing is renting and all of these horrible financial terms. Let's go to the numbers. So Ansley gets a 2024 Infiniti truck. It's a $58,000 truck. If you're watching on Instagram or YouTube, you can see this. It's a $58,000 truck. Guys, some of you know because you've seen some stuff, every $5,000 on a loan is how much per month? Every $5,000 we borrow on a loan, 5 years, is about how much per month? Anybody know? Thank you, Michelle. $100. Told you, shout out to the people who tapped in, locked in. See, I love the people who are locked in. It's some people who just, they sleep at the wheel. I need the people who are locked in. I'm really only talking to you. Now, that means this vehicle that Ashley went in to get, his $58,000 vehicle, if he would have just said, all right, I want to buy it because I was taught leasing is renting, how much is it going to cost me a month? No money down. Let's figure, we're going to compare apples to apples. No money down, because when you put money down into the deal, that confuses you. That actually makes you think you got a better deal than you really did. When you evaluate deals with no money going into them, It's easy to see where the best value is. Now, Ashley would have been paying $1,200 a month for 5 years. $58,000. That's not even full tax. Let's just round the tax to 60. Let's just say $1,200 a month. But Deshone, what if he got a good discount? Okay, I'll give you one better. Let's go extra conservative and let's play that game. Let's pretend that he's using my strategies and he found out a way to save a huge amount of money off this brand new Infiniti. He's getting bids, he's using my strategy, but he's not leasing because he's been programmed not to lease. So he's not leasing, but he's going to get bids. Now he saves $10,000 off the price of this brand new vehicle. $10,000. So instead of financing 60, he's financing 50. What's his payment, everybody? What's his payment? We just said every $5,000 is $100 a month. $50,000 vehicle. What's his payment? $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month. Okay. Now that's with a super discount. That's with a discount that's like anybody would be happy to save 10 grand. I'm proving the point here that you cannot get a good deal if you buy, but you should have leased. You lost. Big time. Now watch this. He's leasing and his payment is $554 a month. So now somebody like Black, somebody like Miggy over here that agrees with Black, they pull up in their Infiniti truck, right? And they pull up next to you. And y'all are both driving the exact same truck. And you look at them and you're like, hey, man, we got the same truck. Now they're going to say something to you like, yeah, you know, man, it's expensive though, man. It costs to drive this, right? And you're going to look at them and be like, oh, how much you paying? You know, I did a no money down deal. So I know I did all right. I did no money down, but I'm paying $1,000 per month for this. Oh, really? I did no money down too, but I'm paying $554. Wait, I leased this. I drive it for 3 years, then I give it back. Oh yeah, but I own this. I'm gonna own this in 5 years at $1,000 a month. This mine right here. Okay, all right. Listen, God bless you. Have a good enjoy, man. Enjoy. Now let's go one more scenario. Let's go to the person who says, Deshone, I don't buy new though. I only buy used. Cool. Let's say you pull up in your new lease that you just got. And again, everyone shouldn't be leasing. That's why step 1 in my book is called the 8-year rule. It's the 8-year rule. If you are keeping vehicles at least 8 years, don't worry about leasing. You're going to beat depreciation. All of that money you're going to pay to own, all the $1,000, all these high payments you're going to pay to own, all this cash that has to come out of your pocket to own, out of your bank account to own, it'll be worth it in the long run. At least 8 years though. And the longer the better. 10, 12, 15, you really want. But less than 8, losing big time. So let's say a person says, oh, I'm going to get a used version. So they find a 3-year-old Infiniti truck just like this. But so instead of paying 60 for it, let's say they find one for 30. Let's give them a good price, good mileage. They think, oh, I'm good. What's their payment, everybody? What's the payment? Come on, stay by the keyboard. I need y'all quick because we're teaching something here to people like Black. They might not get it. I pray that they do, but they might not get it. But the people who are locked in financially, the people who understand financial literacy are going to get this. If every $5,000 is $100 a month and they buy a pre-owned version for 30 grand, what's their payment? Thank you, Michelle. 600. 600. See, he said 500. So this is how I know he's struggling. And I'm not trying to beat you down, man. I'm just saying when you're talking about something you don't understand, it's better to ask questions, not make statements. So now we pull up. You have your new lease. You got this same deal, $554 a month. He pulls up in his 3-year-old version that has probably 1 year of warranty left. You both did a no money down deal. He looks at you and says, oh, wow, that's the new one, right? Yeah. This is the 2024. 2025. Oh yeah, this is a 22. I just got this. I got a good price on it. I paid 30. Okay, cool. What's your payment? I pay 600 a month. What you pay for the new one, man? I know that must be expensive. I pay 554. Wait, what? Yeah, I paid $554 for this. No, you put a lot of money down, right? No, I didn't. I gave him $554. I drove off. It's understanding. That's deal structure. That's why when I came and started teaching 3 years ago, I had to teach deal structure. I couldn't teach people to just go in and buy cars, get great prices. If you get a great price, but your structure is wrong, you overpaid. You're driving cars, you're driving older cars with no warranty. And many of people who've been taught to do this, they never even pay the car off. They trade the car in before they even pay it off. They literally, I used to have people walk into the Mercedes dealer and they look at me and say, Deshone, is that the new version? I'm like, yeah, that's the new one. He's like, I got 3 payments left on this one. As soon as I pay it off, I'm coming to see you for that one. So this is a person who paid these high payments because they wanted to own. They thought they were going to own. As soon as they get their title, it's like running a marathon. Oh, these high payments, these payments are so high, but one day I'm going to pay this car off. And then as soon as you get to the end of the race, you go start another race. It's horrible. It's horrible. And so that's why we don't move into any other step before we get to the buy versus leasing. That's why it's step 1 in my book. So we can sit here all day and compare numbers. There is no comparison to a person who's getting great lease deals versus a person who's buying. It's not even close. We're driving better cars. We're driving, they're usually always under warranty. We're paying cents on the dollar when you know how to get below market leases. I'm not talking about these commercials y'all see. That ain't nothing. We don't pay those prices. None of these people, look, you think Zafrina, who got a Jeep Grand Cherokee lease, and she paid, look, she's paying $527 a month. She's paying $527 a month. Oh no, that's Teddy. Hold on. You think Zafrina, who's paying $579 a month for a $66,000 truck, is ever going to she's not going to let this bad information get to her anymore. She's driving a $66,000 truck. So again, now let me, before we go to the next question, I'm going to just read some things from Black because he's over here typing. And I do want to give him the courtesy of reading because we just used him as a teaching moment. I think everyone learned. If you just got what I just taught about the leasing versus buying, type $sign. Just type $signs. If you got that point of me, see, no one talks to you about payments. They say things like never lease, always do this, always do that. But they never talk numbers. The reason why we go straight to the numbers is because the numbers don't lie. They say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So when we go to the numbers, shout out to everybody. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see you, Wanda. I see you, Tony. I see you, Michelle. I see you, Megan. I see you, Brenda. I see you, Federico. That's the name of the game, is putting your deal on the right foundation so that you know, again, like I said, banks don't want to own vehicles. Think about that. Banks don't want vehicles that are not bringing income in. They don't want a depreciating asset on their books because today it's worth 40, tomorrow it's worth 39,800, the next day it's worth 39,700, the next day it's worth 39,600. That's what a depreciating asset is. They don't want them on their books in the short term. They're in the short-term business. And some of us are in the short-term business too. The only people that are winning long-term with purchases are those of you who keep your cars 8+ years. Because you beat depreciation. All right, so Black said, nah, bro. Okay. Keyword, no money down. You put 10 to 20% down, then it's a different story. You can't make this stuff up. Let's go. You cannot make this stuff up. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. I just compared 3 no money down transactions on the same vehicle. 3. New, used, new lease. 3, no money down. I'm telling people that when you don't put money down, you can clearly see what you're really paying. You can clearly see what you're really paying. Black comes in, he proves our point, which is he's going to put 10 to 20% down. Now he's pulling up next to you in your lease, right? You're $554 a month, brand new, fully warranted, all the latest and greatest features. Now he puts 10 to 20% down on that's $10,000 to $12,000. Think about this. He pulls up and he has a similar payment to you. So he feels like we're alike. He feels like we're pretty close. In fact, he may even feel like he's doing better than you because he's purchasing his and you own yours. I mean, you're leasing yours. But watch this. What about that $12,000 you gave him? What about that $12,000 you gave them? That's how people forget. That's why everything in the Car From Home system, when you get the book, you're going to see everything is about shopping with zero down, looking at offers, and then choosing, do I want to put money down to lower my payment? Money down does not buy your deal. I made a video about this. Some of you have seen it and shared it. People who make a down payment and think they got a deal. You have a deal before you put your money down, or you don't have a deal. A deal means I shopped all my offers, and then I found the dealer who was going to discount the vehicle the most. Now, how do I want to pay for that? Do I want to get a loan? If I'm getting a loan, what do I want my payment to be? Now I'm going to manipulate my down payment based on what I want my payment to be. That has nothing to do with the deal I got, but somebody like Black or people who move like him, hopefully we can help you get over these mindsets. But you have some very, very strong convictions, and you're confidently incorrect. That's dangerous. It's dangerous to be confident and incorrect. Dangerous to yourself and your family and your friends who will listen to this. If you are putting money into deals and thinking that you got a deal because your payment ended up being affordable, you in no way can win. First of all, you're letting the dealer manipulate two things: the price of the car they're selling you and the interest rate that you're getting from them exclusively. If you were even just separating, your loan from your interest, from the purchase, you would see that that's a losing strategy. You can't compare a person who's driving a brand new vehicle paying a low payment to a person who's paying the same payment but gave the dealer $12,000 to get to that payment. And look, here we go. Now let's get ready for the next question, because Black just said, I believe in the Ramsey rules, not leasing cars, and he's costing you. Now, let me ask you a question. How many years are you keeping your cars, Black, on average? And let's just move on from there. We've given you enough, and you've been great. You have been great. I think we have all learned. You've given me a lot of things to be able to teach the audience who's willing to learn, but there is in no way, shape, or form. 3 to 4 years. My man, you are losing like crazy. Look, he's buying cars like this and flipping them. Coming back, you're spending so much money that I can't even get it across to you because you're not in a posture to learn. You are literally buying cars in their deepest state of depreciation because somebody told you don't lease. You listen to them. You buy the car here. It's worth $40 the day you buy it. You come back in 3 to 4 years to get a new one. They give you $20 for that car. You spent $20 grand. You lost $20 grand in depreciation in 3 years. And you just keep doing that because somebody told you never lease cars and you listen to them. The payments I'm showing you, it's not clicking. The fact that the same car you bought for $40 that you're going to get $20 for, you're paying $40. That's an $800 a month payment. You put 20% down, you finance 30 grand. Now that's a $600 a month payment. That same $40,000 car we're leasing with no money down for $500 a month. No money down. You are spending thousands. We can't help you, man. You got to be willing to unlearn it. You are so locked in, So anyway, but I think, listen, everybody who got it, you understand. That is why leasing versus buying is paramount. You cannot get it. If you are not keeping your cars 8 years, you cannot get a great deal buying. you're going to lose in depreciation. You're going to lose in resale value. When you go to replace that car and you see what it's actually worth and how much you paid over 4 years or 5 years or 7 years, when you compare that to a person who drove brand new cars for that particular same period of time, it's no comparison. And then you have cars with no warranty and all of that. Yeah. Look, Megan said, Black doesn't seem to learn. So to my question would be, could you buy an extended warranty package? Hold on. Why am I getting calls on airplane mode? Sorry, guys. I hold on. Let me put on Do Not Disturb. All right, so go ahead, Dolan. Shoot some. Let's get to Megan's question, and then let's try to go through a couple more. But that was good. That was good, Black. Thank you, because we wouldn't have been able to teach on those points without your questions. Okay, so let's do Carolina on YouTube, and then let's go to we'll hit Megan, and let's go through as many as we possibly can. Hey, I'm new here. I want to trade my 2020 Nissan, and what's the best way to do this, please? Okay, so you have a 2020 Nissan. That's a vehicle that's not 5 years old. First thing you would do, if we were talking, I wouldn't let you buy. Unless you're telling me you're going to keep the next car 8 years, you're losing, because that 2020 Nissan, first thing we want to do is decide whether we're buying or leasing the next vehicle. And as we just said, if you're not keeping the next vehicle 8 years, you should be shopping for below market leases. Then you want to now see what is the most money you can get for that Nissan. We don't depend on a dealer to tell us. You're going to go to these 6 websites. These are 6 websites. You do this in 15 minutes. You're going to find out what that vehicle is truly worth. You find out what your vehicle is worth with offers, not with anything else. Offers. So go to CarMax, Driveway. Write this down. I told you, stay locked in, because we do dialogue here. It's not just me talking. Unless you got a notepad, you got to stay locked in and ready. We're going to go to CarMax. We're going to go to Driveway. We're going to go to Carvana. We're going to go to KBB Instant Cash Offer. These are all offer sites. These are people you walk in, they do an inspection, they cut you a check, you're out of there in an hour with a check. They're not trying to sell your car, they just want to buy your car. Driveway, Carvana, CarMax, KBB Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. 6 offers, 6 bids. That's going to tell you what your vehicle is worth, and that's going to tell you if you have equity or negative equity. Equity or negative equity. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. First 2 things is ask yourself, how many years are you keeping the next car? And then do your equity assessment to see, do you have positive equity that could either go in your bank account, or negative equity that's going to be carried over to your next deal. So that's the first step. Okay, do that first. Now, here's the beautiful thing. When I was at the dealer, I would have people who walked in, as soon as I asked them how many years they were keeping the car, if they were telling me 5, like, remember the guy I mentioned a little while ago on the stream? I said he comes into the dealership, hey, Deshone, is that the new one? As soon as he gets his title, he comes in and trades it in. I told him, there's no point in you waiting for the title. First of all, you can replace a vehicle without the title. That's fine. But again, he was taught, hey, I got to wait for my title, and then I make a move. So he always has a payment. 5-year loan, 6-year loan, pays it off, gets a new car. He always has a payment. It's just super high. But what I would do if he was listening, if he was open to financial advice, I would tell them, you're going to cash that vehicle out. That means you're going to sell this vehicle. We're going to give you a check for that. So whatever it's worth, 15, 18 grand, it's paid off. That's going to go in your pocket. Now, what he was used to doing was, well, whatever it's worth, don't I have to put that down on the next vehicle to be able to get my payment where I want it? And this was the best news I was able to deliver. This is why, and if you talk to anybody in New Jersey who dealt with me, this is how I've been. I've been the same way. From the minute I started learning about financial literacy when it comes to cars, I was a consultant educating my clients on how to keep the most money in their pocket and drive the best cars. When he would say, well, I say, are you familiar with leasing? And I would ask, how much do you drive a year? And he would say, I think about, maybe 13, 14,000. I said, let's go look at your old vehicle. We look at your old vehicle. We see, okay, yeah, based on what's on the mileage now, you drive about 14,000 a year. Here's what we're going to do. Whatever your car is worth, you're going to put that in your bank account. Let me show you what a competitive lease would look like. I make him the offer. He's like, wait a minute. This is my payment, and I could drive as much as I want. That's it. You could drive the same amount you've been driving. So I'm paying less than I was paying to own this thing? And you about to give me a check back for 12 grand, 15 grand? Yeah. This is what I want to do for the people who have been programmed that buying cars is how you should do it. Again, long-term owners, you should not be thinking about leasing. But here's how I know you need it in your tool belt, because your daughter may not be a long-term owner. Your spouse may not be a long-term owner. Your friend or whoever may not be a long-term owner. See, typically how you do things is how you teach other people to do things. So if you are keeping your cars 8, 9, 10, 12 years, you probably think everyone else is doing that. But your kids or your family members or your spouse, they may want to drive for 5 years, and then they like, all right, this stuff's starting to go wrong. You said the warranty is up, and this got to cost $800 to fix, $400. Let's just go get a new one. Those are the people who don't have the values to keep a car long term, and you should not be buying cars for them. They should be shopping for. Now, both cases, you need below market deals. But it does not, but knowing how long you're going to keep the car is how you're going to beat depreciation. So all of this is in my digital book, guys. Everything I'm talking about on this stream is in my step-by-step book. A lot of what we talk about on these streams and in my social media videos is what not to do. My book is about what to do. It's like, do this, do this, do this, do this, steps, check it off the list. Next thing you know, you got below market deals from home. There's only 3 things we go into the dealership for: test drive, have our car appraised, and to pick up a car. We are not there to shop. We're not there to get numbers. We're not there to negotiate. We do all of this stuff from home. So for 30 minutes, if you visited the website already, you'll see the timer. 30 minutes, you can get 75% off your copy. It'll be in your inbox in literally seconds. And as soon as you pay, in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, Facebook, we have a link floating for you. You guys should be able to see the link. And then Instagram, we have YouTube, we have a comment pin for you guys. You'll have the book, but as soon as you pay, you're going to see the thank you page. It says screenshot this page. You'll see my support team email. Sometimes you type your email wrong. Contact support if the book is not in your inbox in literally 5-10 minutes. Also, as soon as you pay, you see a link that says open your book below. So there's 2 ways I'm delivering the book to you. Right there as soon as you buy, but I'm also emailing you a copy. But sometimes, we fat finger the keyboards and there's a letter off. So make sure you hold on to my support team's email and hit them up. Okay, good stuff. Get your copy. Listen, once that clock hits 0, the price is $97, which is still worth every penny. If I missed it, I go back and look. Knowing what I know, knowing what the people know, look at Tiffany. Look at Tiffany's deal. Look at Tiffany's deal. Matter of fact, let's show Vicky's deal. Look, thanks to your books and your methods, I was able to get my new lease for a 2024 Volkswagen Atlas SE Peak Edition with the tech package for $175 per month less than my first quotes. I did it all online except for picking up the car. I put no money down other than my first month's payment and DMV, which is probably $200. And saved over $6,000 on the life of that lease using your negotiating scripts. We have email scripts. This is what I want for you. I want you guys not just getting cars. Everybody's getting cars. You'll see people posting their car. Oh, I needed an upgrade. Look, get a bunch of likes. Hey, had to treat myself. You'll never see the numbers though. I want you, every time you get a car, I want you just as excited about the numbers you got as the car. And this will make sure you get there. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. Okay, Brandon from TikTok. I've lifted the Denali truck. I owe $6,500 on it. It has 163,000 miles. It needs $3,500 worth of front end work. Should I fix it or trade it? I'm the only owner. I would make sure you get a second opinion on how much it's going to cost to fix. Lifted Denali is going to have a low resale value. But here's the thing: the cost of replacement is always more than the cost to fix. Always more. So if you got a truck, and again, your truck, you got a loan on it. You got a loan on it, 163,000 miles. I teach something: you shouldn't have a loan past the 10th birthday on a vehicle. Now you're going into a lot of risk. There's different boundaries we need to follow. But what I would do if I was you is I would make sure I'm not spending more than $3,500 unless I'm getting multiple mechanics to give me an offer. But I would see, what does it cost? What's the lowest I can pay to get this truck running? What if you pay $3,500 and it runs again for another 3-4 years? All day long. Because to get a new vehicle, $3,500 is coming out your house in probably 6-7 months. Which would you prefer? $3,500 one time and I could drive this thing for another 3 years problem free? Or $7,000 or $10,000 a year that I'm going to pay to get a new truck? Keep the cost low when you can. All right? Listen, I'm going to jump off. Everybody, listen, we'll be back for another stream. We went deep today. I think we dug into stuff we've never dug into before. Thank you to Black for, bringing some information to us that allowed me to teach and help you guys unlearn. Everything you need is in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. You can see all the reviews people wrote using it. But you won't pay $97 if you get to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio before that 30-minute countdown expires. You'll get it for 75% off, which is $24. And on YouTube and Facebook, I have a comment pinned for you guys where you can get your copy for 75% off. Use it. Make sure you email me your success stories, and make sure you save my support team's email just in case you type your email wrong. Let's make sure my team gets you your book. All right. God bless you. Keep winning. Keep unlearning. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hit go live, then we'll roll in. Jasmine from TikTok asks, what do I do when I can't afford the lease after 1 year? Great question. You want to do an equity assessment, see if you can sell it. There's 2 main ways to sell a lease. You could have somebody assume it. You can go to a site like Shop a Lease, and if you have a good car payment, you could list the car there and somebody could take over it, but it must be a good car payment relative to the deal. If you're paying, if you overpaid per month, then you're going to have a hard time getting someone to take over the lease. But if not, you can get rid of it there. Second is, I want you to call the leasing company, ask for your payoff, and then you're going to call, once you get your payoff, I want you to ask them if you have a third-party restriction. Those are the 2 questions you're going to ask your leasing company. And then once you get that number, which is your payoff, you're going to go to CarMax.com, Driveway, Carvana. This will take you 20 minutes to do. Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, Sell My Car, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. You want to get 6 offers. It's very important when you're on those sites. You When they ask you, is your car owned, leased, or financed, put owned. That's going to tell you what the market value cash is for your car to get rid of it in a day. If it's greater or equal to your payoff, you can get out of it. If you have a third-party restriction, then you're going to need to take another step and you're going to sell to a local dealer. But you got to see where your equity position is first. Got to see where your equity position is first. All right, I'm going on and I'm sharing the broadcast, and then Dolan, you could queue up the next question. We're live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So we are going to be taking questions from all platforms. The first one came from TikTok. We got a couple queued up on TikTok. So shoot the next one in, Dolan, and we'll get to it. All right, this is another one from TikTok. I have 2 payments left on my lease. What's my next step? Equity assessment. Who's returned a lease to a dealership, just dropped it off when it was done? You never assessed any equity. You didn't even know. Who didn't know that a lease could have equity that you could put in your pocket? It's not a guarantee, but many people all through the pandemic, we were showing them how to put $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, $12,000 in equity in their pocket from the end of their lease. I sold my lease, end of my Jeep lease, I made $8,900. My mother made $10,200. Now that was when everything was worth 7 to 10 grand more than it's worth. That was when the market was once in a lifetime. But does not mean we will never return a lease without doing an equity assessment. If you've done it, I want you to raise your hand and say, you know what, I turned in my lease. If you ever just dropped it off, you can't do that again. You must know if you have equity, and you follow those steps that I just gave to Jasmine. I think that was Jasmine who asked the first question. That is what's called in my book, in my process, that's the equity assessment. That is what you do. Everything I'm teaching you guys is from my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. So every question you ask, when I answer it, it's going to be out of one of those 7 steps. And the equity assessment is step 2. You must do that before you ever return a lease for the rest of your life. A lot of you gave back thousands of dollars to dealerships and you didn't realize you were doing it. They bought those cars, put that money in their bank account when it should have been in yours. Yep. All right. Go ahead. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. All right. All right. This one's from TikTok as well. Let's go. Facebook, type your questions in. YouTube, type your questions in. Instagram, type them in so we can get to you guys. Another one from TikTok. Thinking of trading a car for a newer model. Should I keep the car and just get the new one? It's a good question. What's the benefit of keeping the car? If you were a high mileage driver, then I would tell, let's just say you said, Deshone, I'm driving 20,000 miles. It's in high mileage drivers, I want you to type HM. If you do over 20,000 miles per year, even 18,000 miles per year, just type HM. Regular driver, Jason, what's the benefit of having 2 cars? It's on insurance. You're paying for one when you get your new car. I like to drive that car that I'm paying for. I don't want to be paying for a car and then I got this other car that I'm barely using. But if you are a high mileage driver, then I would tell you keep that car and get you another car. And but how many years are you keeping the car, Jason? How many years are you keeping this next car? Because depending on your answer, it's going to change my answer to you. So this car you're thinking about getting, how many years you see yourself keeping it? Let's start there. Come on and shout out to the sharers. I see y'all running the likes up on TikTok, and y'all keep tapping that screen. Just every couple minutes, throw a couple taps. It really helps the broadcast, and I appreciate everybody who's helping us get this message out. I really do. We couldn't do this without you. Let's see if maybe 5 years, then you should not be buying that car, Jason. You should be leasing. And I'm going to break this down for you really quick because some of you know the depreciation curve. And the rule of thumb is when we talk about the hidden money in your car deals, my job is not to just teach you, if you're willing to listen, how to save thousands of dollars by making dealers and banks bid on your business. That's how we make sure we get the best prices. You can't get the best price. You can't make the best deal if you buy, but you should have leased. It's impossible because the depreciation curve looks like this, y'all. If you buy a car today for $30,000 today, I give you a car. I'm gonna show you something. I want everybody stay close to your keyboard. I don't want to, when I ask you a question, type as quick as you can so we can keep the dialogue going. If I gave you a $30,000 car right now, put it outside your house, you don't drive it 1 mile, you don't even touch it. We go outside a year later, is it worth $30,000? You didn't drive it 1 mile. You said, Deshone, I don't need the car, but I'm leaving it here. It's yours. You don't drive it 1 mile. Is it worth $30,000? No. So that's your first intro into depreciation, the unseen expense. Let's go a little deeper. If you put 10,000 miles on it, it's worth less, right? If you put no money in it, if you put no mileage on it, it's already lost thousands. If you put 10,000 miles on it, it's worth less, right? High mileage driver, let's say you put 20,000, it's worth less, right? Now what you're seeing is the expense you've been taught not to see, which is depreciation. It has nothing to do with car payments. It has everything to do with that. We've heard people say, oh, you know, cars are depreciating asset, cars are depreciating. What does that actually mean? I'm showing you what that means. I'm showing you what that means. When you're buying something that goes down in value, you have to look at when it's going down, when is it losing its most value, and your goal should be to avoid replacing it while it's losing the most value. How many of you have a car outside right now, outside your house? You've had it for at least 8 or 9 years. Type the number of years you've had it. If it's more than 8, don't type 3, don't type 5. For those of you who have a vehicle outside right now, and it's been in your home, in your household for at least 8 years, I want you to type the number of years. All right, we got Jason 10, we got 13, we got 8, we got 20, we got 14. Okay, so we got 10. This is the leasing versus buying question, and there's nothing more important than this to the foundation of your deal. Because if you choose wrong, you cannot get a great deal. And if you're new to this, then lock in for the next 5 minutes, and you're going to understand why. The people, those of you who said, Deshone, wow, Jazzy's 20 years. The vehicle, the value of your vehicle right now, isn't it going to be about the same a year from now? Everybody who just typed, look at and I want y'all to pay attention. If those of you who are like, Deshone, I never keep a car, you might be saying, looking at these numbers and saying, Deshone, I would never keep a car that long. It's not for me. It's not in the cards for me. It's not my style, not my habit, not interested. Perfect. Pay attention. 12, 20. So all of these people, your car will be worth next year about what it's worth right now. What does that mean? That means you have avoided the depreciation. You've won. The depreciation curve normally looks like this the first 5 to 7 years, but it starts to get like this the longer you keep the car. So now all of you who have answered, all of you who are watching them answer, their car depreciation curve looks like this now. It's not losing much value anymore. If you don't get to that level, there was no point in you buying the car because you're replacing it here. There's only 2 ways to go to avoid this type of depreciation. Car was worth 30, now it's worth 10, 7 years later. It's only 2 ways to avoid that type of hit. One, you're going to keep it long term. If that's not you, you should be shopping for aggressive leases. Not these leases you see in the car, in the commercials, come pay $4,000 down and all of that. These are not deals. Aggressive leases are below market prices, and they're pennies on the dollar compared to what you've been paying. You cannot win buying cars and switching them like this. That's why you always have negative equity. That's why you're always never happy with what you're getting for your car. You buy your car, you come back, look 3 years later, you see what it's worth. It's always disappointing because you're trying to literally get cash back out of something that is not designed to give you any value in the short term. leasing or long-term ownership. That's why the first thing that that I teach, it's called the most important question, is how many years you keep in the car. If it's not 8, then you should be leasing. It's not even a question. We'll go deeper on that throughout the show. Anyone who wants to know more about that, you keep asking, because once I open up that Pandora's box, it's like your mind is like, oh, but everything I heard about leasing, I heard it was bad. I heard you can't drive that much. I heard that yada, yada. They bill you for all of this stuff. All of those things, I'm going to help you unlearn, because unfortunately, the people who taught you that were confidently incorrect, which is dangerous. Confidently incorrect is you're dangerous to yourself and others. So, all right, so that's the key. If that's the key, Jason, don't think about buying if you're not keeping 8 years. You're going to overspend. And we'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. Feel free to ask follow-up questions. Go ahead, shoot the next one, and I'll go as deep on that subject as we need to for you to understand it. It'll give you some lease comparisons. You'll see what great leases look like, and you'll see how there are pennies on the dollar when you know how to get great lease deals. And that's the way you avoid the depreciation. Only 2 ways: great lease deals, long-term ownership, 8, 10, 15 years. That's it. 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can't avoid the depreciation buying. You just can't. You're going to lose thousands every time. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. We're keeping the questions coming in. We're live on all platforms, so just keep typing. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. We got a lot of questions coming from TikTok. All right, let's go. Should I put money down on a lease that I'm about to turn in? That you're about to turn in. I'm gonna assume you meant, should I put money down on the lease that you're about to get? So check it out. Here's how you shop all your lease deals from now on. There's one thing that I never want you to say again. It's really 2 things, but in this subject, the other thing is trade. This is down payment. I want you to eliminate the words down payment from your vocabulary, because it's been used as an opportunity to get more money out of you. Who's ever went in, thought you were making a car deal, you thought you were going to put maybe $1,500 down, and then somewhere down the lines, these hidden things come like, oh, well, you got the taxes and fees, and then you end up putting more down than you thought you were going to. Has that ever happened to anybody? Hit the raise your hand emoji, or just type me if you've experienced that. You thought you were going to be putting this down. You might have gotten to the finance office to sign the paperwork, and now you got to come up with another 500 or 1,000 or the taxes or the fees or whatever it is, right? So I spent 14 years in the car business. For those of you who don't know me, I've seen the way we call them the 80%. 80% of people shouldn't be in the car business. They're overpriced. They'll sell their grandmother the highest price car. It doesn't matter. They have no integrity, very little morals. We don't buy from them. What you need is to learn to avoid them, and you also need to learn to find the 20% who beats them all the time. So when you shop your car leases, you are always going to shop. You're no longer going to say down payment. You're going to say this: total out of pocket. Total out of pocket. See, total out of pocket means that's what I'm giving you and no more than that. You'll see the difference. Down payment can be, that's my down payment, but what about my taxes and what about, so that gets convoluted. When you start using, hey, I'm only doing this total out of pocket, it's hard for them to switch it up, especially when you're adamantly aware of what that means. This is all the money that I'm putting out of my pocket. You could also say do it signing, but total out of pocket is probably more of a universal term. You shop your leases with 12,000 miles. Now, who was taught they limit you on the lease miles? Who was taught they only give you 10,000 miles? Because this question from TikTok, the person's asking, should I put money down on a lease? So I want to tell you how you always want to shop your car deals with no money down. That's what's confusing you. What's confusing you is when they mix the down payment and start throwing monthly payments, you are now not aware of what you're truly paying for the car, what you're truly getting. And so this is why you use what I'm telling you, you shop my way. You're never going to shop with down payments. That doesn't mean we don't put down payments down, but we do not get offers, and we're not out there shopping with down payment money. Okay? So All right, I see it's happening to you, Fouché. So you're going to get your offers with first month's payment, total out of pocket, taxes and fees in the payment, 12,000 miles per year. Once you do that, I teach in my book, I have a new digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I teach a strategy called the 25 to 5. We're going to connect with 25 dealers. We're going to get 5 offers. We do not make a decision without at least 5 offers. Because once you see, thanks to everybody who's supporting the broadcast with the gifts, I appreciate that. Once you see how different the offers are, you're going to realize you're going to see how much money is in multiple offers. You must get 5 offers because 80% are overpriced. Don't try to change these people. Don't question, oh, listen, why are dealers like this? Why are the 80% overpriced? Listen, Jim Rohn used to say, don't sign up for that battle. Why does the sun come up in the east and in the east and set in the west? Like, don't sign up for that. Some questions are not worth asking because they mean nothing. Just know that's what it is. 80% are going to be overpriced. This is why you are not going to get your best deal walking into a dealer anymore. You're going to sit at home. You're going to decide what you want. We call that shopping, not buying. This is step 4 of my process. We have 7 steps. Step 4 is shopping.